Thank you very much for the invitation to speak here. The World Bank is very pleased to be an active member of the 4 per 1,000 initiative, so very pleased to be here. I just want to talk about 3 points. I mean, first, our engagement on climate smart agriculture. The bank has been working with partners across the world in doing a number, about 30 plus climate smart agriculture country profiles. I mean, looking at climate smart agriculture in a kind of a broader perspective. And at this COP, we're launching this report that actually provides a synthesis of our experiences. And some of the lessons learned, I think, are relevant for the discussion today. What we're finding is a very wide range of climate smart agricultural practices that are already being applied. And of course, soil management is very much part of it. As climate smart agriculture is not really rocket science. There are many opportunities for triple win solutions, which actually is very important when it comes to lining up investments. And when we do analysis, economic analysis of climate smart agriculture investments, we see very attractive economic returns. Now, when it comes to the bank, I mean, when we make investments across the various sectors, our investments are now subject to 4 climate requirements that are being applied. One is climate and disaster risk management. Second is greenhouse gas accounting to get a handle on the mitigation benefits. We're applying a social price of carbon in our economic analysis of $40 a ton. And we calculate according to methodology that's coming from all multilateral development bank, the climate co-benefits. The bank itself has set itself a target of 28% to be reached by 2020. When it comes to agriculture, the bank last year had a lending for about $4.6 billion in agriculture. Applying this formula, this methodology to calculate the climate co-benefits, reflecting both adaptation and mitigation benefits, we had 45% climate co-benefits. So reflecting about a $2 billion in investment in climate actions. I want to talk a little bit, and $2 billion, of course, is a big number. But in view of what needs to happen, what also previous speakers have pointed out, of course, it's far off, and of course, much more needs to be done. So the question is now, how can you mainstream and how can you scale up, and how do soils actually figure in this equation? One thing that we're pointing out at the COP is the need to realign agriculture support, I mean, to promote climate smart agriculture. If you look at the public agriculture support programs across the world, I mean, 51 countries, according to OECD data, are spending about $570 billion. That's more than $500 billion a year on agriculture support programs. Only about 15% of this 570 billion actually goes to real public good. I mean, research and development, extension, etc. The vast majority, 85%, goes into market price support programs, input subsidies, as well as output subsidies related support programs. We know from economic literature and experience that those subsidy programs, direct and indirect subsidies, actually generate a lot of distortions, allocative inefficiencies, technical inefficiencies, negative environmental externalities. I mean, farmers are applying fertilizers above, I mean, the recommended doses because it's recommended, because it's subsidized. Because of market price support programs, farmers are growing the wrong crops in the wrong locations, under the wrong agroecological conditions, thereby actually augmenting their vulnerability to climate change. So one of the things that we're saying in this in this paper that we are calling attention to at the COP is for instance, you know, why subsidize fertilizers? Instead, actually, one should subsidize soil health. And I think again, this relates to the discussion today. Subsidizing soil health, I mean, what's the public goods dimension of subsidizing public health, of soil health? This goes beyond, I mean, the capacity of the soil to sequester carbon, of course. I mean, to the extent, I mean, that there is a public goods case for subsidizing soil health, there are all the kind of the substitution effects, I mean, related to the production, transportation, application of chemical fertilizers, that is part of that equation as well. There's avoided deforestation associated with that. There's avoided groundwater pollution, less nitrogen leaching. So it would be interesting actually to add up, I mean, those benefits to get an even more compelling case of investing in soil health that then can be used as an argument actually to redirect part of this $570 billion, I mean, to investments in soil health. Now, how do we move forward on that? We think it's important that the importance of soil health is integrated in the NDCs. I mean, the bank, besides our work on climate-smart agriculture counter profiles, we're working on climate-smart investment plans, actually to provide concrete recommendations to government on how to go about investing in climate-smart agriculture. We expect that those climate-smart investment plans will be an important input in the update of the NDCs that will happen as part of the Paris Agreement, and we will in which the NDCs are going to be made much more ambitious. So it's very critical actually that that message is going to be incorporated in the NDC, and we think that this climate-smart investment plan could be a good vehicle for that. Another thought here is we need cost-effective monitoring, reporting and verification protocols in a cost-effective fashion, so that actually you can actually link public support, I mean, to farmers conducting practices in the field and generating environmental positive climate outcomes. And we think actually that digital agriculture, I mean, could possibly play a role there, but that's something to be invested in, we think, actually to mainstream. So redirecting subsidies, integrated in the NDCs, and having cost-effective MRV protocols for us are the kind of the key ingredients in a very operational way in moving this agenda forward, mainstreaming it and scaling up, and we'll be happy to work as part of the initiative to make this happen. Thank you very much.